Hi everybody and welcome to our show. Today we are having Rehmannia. Thank you, Rehmannia, for being with us again.
Thank you, Conte.
And we have some more exciting news. The Children of Hsien, the newest book that you have.
Yes.
And today we are hoping to learn a little bit more about the story, about the characters, because it's a very, very unusual, revolutionary book.
Yeah, it is. It is in many ways, yeah. Because, well, for one thing, it doesn't contain the usual gratuitous violence and all that stuff. Children of the Hsien takes place in the future on another planet called Aja. Now, Aja is an identical world to Earth. And this is not a novel idea now. Astrobiologists are finding that the templates of life as we know it are everywhere. And so we're seeing the potential for other planets to exist that are identical to ours. And so Children of the Hsien story takes place on one of those planets called Aja, the maiden. The writer is a young boy named Hsien. It's in his first person. And he is saying that Aja and the people there, in their state of evolution, they're about 200 years ahead of where we're at on Earth. So Hsien is writing this book as somewhat an inspiration and a little bit of a warning for us, because they went through similar experiences on their planet, but they're just a little bit ahead. So he sort of can see around the corner where we're at. So their planet Aja has encountered a desertification due to many of the same sort of practices that humanity is doing right now, the way that we use agriculture and the way that we're putting so much carbon into the atmosphere. This happened in their civilization.
So in a way, would you say that the story of the Children of Hsien is in a way a reflection of our planet and what's going on in a society right now?
It is, yeah. So Hsien is of a group called the Hsien. Hsien is a word that means the immortals. In their village of the Hsien, his best friend and soulmate is Quan, a young girl. They're not brother and sister, but they're the same age. And their parents were taken away by the hunters who come from down below. They're called trakers. They come hunting for them. So these children have been raised by their sensei, who is their guardian and teacher. They live in a treehouse with her. And she's been teaching them to, quote, space step, so that they can avoid the hunters that have been coming from down below. Also, at the same time, Hsien, the boy's been learning from his master, the Nagual, an old man who lives in the cave, who's teaching him herbology and about evolution and about repairing soil and all that. They're very advanced beings. And so now we go down into the valley below, and there's a city called Maricon. And the people there, they didn't have any agriculture anymore, so they ate test tube meat, which they call karst. And this has been their diet for 200 years, roughly. And so 200 years prior, the two groups split, and the Hsien went to the mountains, and the Maricons tried to hold on to their civilization, went underground. So now you have these two groups. The Hsien are vegetarian, and the Maricons are carnivorous. And the Maricons come and hunt the vegetarian species.
So in a way, it was like a division or separation in a way, and I feel like this is what we have going on in our society right now. It's all about the division. And
it is. Yeah, I mean, we live in a dualistic planet.
Absolutely. I shall agree with you on that. It's not necessarily working, or not necessarily working as well as it was intended to. But
well, there's a lot of lessons for us there. And that dualism, yes, they experience that there. There is the dualism between the, and that sets up the good guy antagonist scenario. But the beautiful thing is there's no real bad guy in this book. The Maricons are only doing what they think they have to do to survive. Of course, I don't want to give away into the story anymore, but things occur where children are put in a position where they can start to be the inspiration for the Maricons to actually respect the mountain groups. You see, the Maricon propaganda machine told all the people that the mountain groups were just primates, like a monkey, which then the population acquiesced to hunting them.
So in a way, it's like a story, almost a lesson about coexisting, about really being conscious that you are not the only person on this planet, really having a bigger perspective of things. And I think this is something that we all can learn.
Yeah, right. Who is right and what is right, you know?
Yes,
There's always many ways. Children of the Hsien is a very inspirational story of letting go of an old way and allowing that sense of I'm right to go, hey,
remembering that you're not really in control.
Yeah, and that